All right, House of Payne fans. Now, this is a subject that I've touched upon once or twice before in separate videos where I said, is Floyd the new Curtis? But I feel like on Twitter and even in the comment sections of my House of Payne content each week, there are those who kind of make the joke of, at this point, Floyd and Ella ought to just get married due to the fact that it's almost like Floyd is Ella's work husband, but instead of, this taking place in the office or company that they work at, this takes place in Ella's house. So I don't know what specific reason is behind LeVan Davis, aka Curtis Payne's absence from the show. If I remember correctly, the last time he was in an episode was the one where him and CJ go back and forth as the head of I forgot what the organization was called. Basically, what was it called? Fake newsletters or something? That was the name of the episode, where these two were trying to go for a position in the neighborhood to decide like how often people should cut their grass and make sure the upkeep of their home and property is nice. It's been a while. I just forgot. But basically, some people are literally saying, why don't Floyd and Ella just get married? The fact he's always over at that house. And I mean, this would be way better if they actually had the barbershop set, because we could see Floyd doing things outside of things around the house that Curtis should be taking care of. I mean, when he was on the quote unquote barbecue tour, that made sense. But let me just say this, not as a joke, but just to commend House of Payne. Remember, there have just been so many shows, well, let me just talk about black shows in general, where main characters, I mean like titular characters, maybe the show wasn't named after them, but they were always in like the opening credits. They were, either married or related to, let's say, the key character of a franchise. For example, Jo Marie Payton, who portrayed Harriet Winslow, left during the final batch of episodes in Family Matters because, if I'm not mistaken, it moved over to ABC, and after that the show was kind of short-lived during the TGIF block, and she was replaced by another actress. I can't remember her name, but I do know she played Gina's mother on Martin. I do remember that. And at no shade to the actor, because I feel like she's a phenomenal actor from the other projects I watched her in, when you had Harriet Winslow portrayed by a certain actor for damn near a decade, and then to replace her at the last minute, people are going to notice. Same thing with, dark skin, light skin Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But then again, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air went on for another 3 seasons after the OG Aunt Viv left the show. So not having her around would have been a noticeable difference. So they replaced her with another actor. In House of Payne, despite the fact that Jasmine Janine had been MIA for quite a while, and Curtis is going to be up there too in terms of the number of episodes he's been absent if the remaining part of season 10 and leading into season 11 have Curtis just gone. I will say this, at least Tyler Perry has not recast these actors and characters. He simply just mentioned them. Oh, this character is working, this character is on a barbecue tour, this character is downtown, this character is doing this or visiting other family. So I will praise House of Payne for that. I really do. Because it's easy just to not mention someone at all, but to acknowledge their existence. I do love that a lot. The only person that I think that should be potentially recast in recent Tyler Perry media would be Gail on The Oval, due to the fact that Paige Hurd is doing incredibly well in her own separate projects outside of Tyler Perry, such as the Power series. She just had a Christmas movie come out, that kind of stuff. So I just feel like if Gail was necessary to the plot of The Oval and Paige was no longer available, then I'd say, you know what, yeah, I think it's a good idea to perhaps recast that character. But when it comes to House of Payne, it's such a long-running series that, yeah, you can't replace China Ann McClain, or, Demetria is Janine, and so on and so forth. But Curtis, everybody says they're kind of like the gold standard of couples within the entirety of the Tyler Perry franchise. I'm talking movies, plays, TV shows. So it would, I'll ask this question. What would infuriate you more as a longtime House of Payne fan? For Calvin and Miranda to get back together in the current BET run of the show, or for Ella and Curtis to get a divorce and Ella marries Floyd? Just throwing that out there. I just think that overall, we're in a situation where Floyd has become the unofficial husband. He's kind of like Uncle Joey on Full House or something like that. Or, Uncle Jesse. It's like, hey, he's the move-in uncle, so he's taking care of the family, that kind of thing. Well, no, I think maybe Uncle Jesse is the right person because he was the brother of Danny Tanner's wife who passed away in that car accident or whatever. So I think overall, Floyd is doing a phenomenal job, and it just baffles me because in a recent episode, Wandering Prince, when he told CJ about the whole, I know black families argue and whatnot, and sometimes feelings get hurt, but for the first time in a while, it just felt like I was really a part of this family. And I'm like, Floyd, you've been around for most of this season, and you've been the fill-in Curtis, essentially, from taking care of house maintenance to giving advice to some of the other family members. So why? How? I know, isn't he like a cousin or something? I don't know the exact lineage of how Floyd is related to the Payne family and possibly even Lisa based off that DNA, or what was it, DNA episode. But I just never felt that Floyd was an outsider to the Payne family whatsoever. Look, I know there are those in the comments section of certain videos like, hey, Jeremy, during the TBS era of House of Payne, they already did an episode like this, or they already reused this plot line in the BET version. I don't know the TBS House of Payne like the back of my hand, so there are things that I honestly have no idea about. Like, for me, it's like watching it for the first time, because remember, the original series came out when I was in like middle school, high school. I wasn't watching every episode religiously. I wasn't reviewing and critiquing every episode. So like I could say, wow, this episode of House of Payne last night was a 10 out of 10. I love the plot. But then somebody's like, Jeremy, this is a recycled plot from season 7 back in like 2009 or something. I would not know. I would not know. But I think it would really suck if that did happen, where Ella and Curtis got a divorce and whatnot, especially after the recent episode where she literally had a heart-to-heart with Floyd about how, hey, there was this one time when we were younger, Calvin had just been born, and I was running around taking care of the baby in the house. Curtis was a firefighter, but I felt so alone in the marriage. But then, I noticed that one night he did the laundry, he took care of Calvin, and after that, I never looked back. Yeah, it would really suck to have Curtis and Ella get a divorce after that magical moment. But it's just like there have been so many episodes where Ella or one of the family members has gone through something big and Curtis wasn't around. Like the potential breast cancer scare episode for Ella. It's like, where the hell was Curtis? So I just really wish that we knew why LeVan wasn't around in the show. Is he working on another project? Or did he get sick or something? We're just worried about it. That's it. I'm not doing this to like, man, this is suck. The show is bad without Curtis. No, I think the show is doing pretty well without Jasmine, Curtis, Janine. I applaud the writers for really making the best out of the characters they have available. Sure, sometimes it feels like we're regressing characters and creating false drama for the sake of, we have to have conflict in the episode. Well, for the most part, I really do feel this particular season is far and away better than season 9. So with that being said, what do you think? Do you think that Floyd and Ella will get married at some point? Do you think, look, hopefully they don't go this route, but do you think they will kill Curtis off just because they can't get the actor back and then they decide to have Floyd and Ella get married instead? That would be awful. Like, imagine, if Laura and Calvin get to their wedding day and then all of a sudden Floyd proposes to Ella. Yeah, let's not go down that route. But it would be funny, speaking of recycled plots and whatnot, didn't they have a few episodes of House of Payne where, they would do like dream world scenarios? Like, didn't they have the Christmas episode where Curtis is Scrooge and Medea is like the ghost of Christmas blank, which would, take him from point A to point B to show him the different stages of his life at Christmas? And then didn't they have the wife swap episode where Medea was married to Curtis? So it would be interesting at the very least if they did like a husband swap episode where Floyd and Ella get married. I know that's a bit wacky, but go back to the original series. It was wacky as hell. I think it would be fun, but that's just me. So with that being said, as always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we move closer to 200,000 subscribers. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you do not miss out whenever I post content on the channel. Follow me on social media. And if you want to donate, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.